Hey YouTube, we are back home, so let's start getting a normal schedule back here with some decent audio. We are looking at a Great League team that I played earlier this season, Shadow Dragonair, TOXAPEX, and Swampert. So basically the team is kind of built around Dragonair, Swampert. Dragonair, uh, well, it is built around Swampert, but TOXAPEX actually handles the sort of weaknesses better to a certain extent because Dragonair is weak to Fairy and Ice, and I think Toxapex actually probably handles both of those better, resisting Ice and doing super effective against, and resisting Fairy and doing super effective against the Fairy. So I think Toxapex is actually the better answer to it. But if you run Dragonair Toxapex, you have a very obvious flaw against Steel, right? So that's why I kind of went ABB water, right? Because Dragonair, Swampert's only weak to grass, and Dragonair will resist grass, and then the poison neutralizes it, and poison is super effective against grass. So you kind of cover Swampert's weakness with both Dragonair and Toxapex, cover the steel issue with Swampert, and then Dragonair, as you're going to see in the lead, is just generally safe. And I think a lot of people, Shadow Dragonair is not something that is new, but it's something that a lot more people are now sort of realizing is stronger than it used to be in the past. I think it was just because in the past there was a lot of like, but even the Registeel matchup's bad, but it's not terrible. But I think there was like just thinking back in the day, and Azumarill is coming back around now, but there was like the Azumarill is fairy. Like I remember one time there like Charm A9 was around a ton. So I think there was a lot more, and then a lot more people had Altaria. Like Altaria was the Dragon of choice back in the day before Skytalk got nerfed, right? So I think that Dragonair has now come up as one of the top dragons. I think having showcased Arctibax, I think that's probably one of the top dragons. And then you see Guzzlord once in a while, stuff like that. But I think Dragonair is probably your go-to dragon now. How do you play this team? As I just kind of go through this first battle here without really talking about how I play the team. So how I play the team is on the lead, I'm not getting out of much, quite honestly. Even some of like the Azumarill matchups are not bad because you resist the bubble, right? So it's just you need to worry about the charge moves. So for the most part, I'm staying in with almost everything. I think obviously some things like Ice and Fairy are just obvious. Get out as quick as you can. But otherwise, I think I'm staying with pretty much anything. This team does lack from a safe swap, and that's kind of why I'm staying in with everything. Toxapex, I would say, is the safer one, just because if you get a grass on Swampert, you're in trouble. So again, this lead, I'm staying in. I'm trying to throw as fast as I can because they are obviously going to Icy Wind me and lower my attack. So I wanted to try and grab this shield right away. I'm not surprising that I'm shielding because I don't want to. I want to see if I can. Well, okay. I am going to switch to Toxapex, and there's your safe swap. And the thing with Toxapex is there's a couple things that can just like really cause it problems. Anything that resists the poison primarily, right? So if you have a ground in Swampert, or you have a ground in Gligar, but at least Gligar you can hit super effectively with Brine. But steals, anything that resists your poison jab, when you rely on your poison jab and sludge wave as your main moves, you can really get walled by Toxapex as a safe swap. So I don't love Toxapex as a safe swap. So if you want to run, so again, I did okay with this team. Again, this was a long time ago. I don't even truly remember how amazing I did, but it's enough to showcase. Like I will never. There are lots of times where I put in a team and it just doesn't work, and I'll just like go 2-7 with it, 2-8 with it, and then I'll be like, no, okay, this one didn't work. I'm gonna try another one. If I'm showcasing it, and I was going through the win losses here, there's actually quite a lot of wins to loss ratio. So it went well, despite the fact that you have like a kind of weak safe swap here with Toxapex. But yeah, Toxapex has bulk. It's got nice answers to the Fairy. It just got good coverage for what is now the meta of like Poliwrath, and it does fine against dragons, right? So another dragon on the lead. We are just going to stay in this matchup. Hope to get to the body slam first, which we do. Looks like we CMP'd there. So the question is, if we CMP, what do we do here? They actually let it go. I think now you probably keep Switch. Switch is a little important for the back, so this is why Dragonair on the lead is actually pretty good, because you can, like, in that matchup, just, like, double shield or, like, shield and commit to seeing the next matchup. Because, again, look at this matchup. Crest, tanky, but Dragon Breath damage, Body Slam, they still need to throw. You just took Crest down, like, 65, 70%, and now you can get a TOXAPEX in here, so you don't have to see the Grass Knot. However, now a lot of these Cresses are running Future Sight. So there's a good chance that this is a super effective Future Sight now. Yeah. So a lot of them are running Future Sight, which kind of makes this a little bit of a problem. But here we are. We have a Swampert against a very spicy Raikou. And this is where fast move timing is actually going to come in is going to be very, very important here. Because you're going to see I should time everything properly here to minimize there. So 2-turn fast move versus 4-turn fast move. You're throwing on the odds like 1, 3, 5. I end up living a Shadow Ball here because I did not let them sneak in a charge move. Like that one snuck in, but that doesn't matter because this is going to take him out, so it's not going to register. And I'm going to instant swap here and then hit them with the Brine. And Brine is such a bad move. This probably doesn't even take it out. Okay, it does take it out. Brine is such a bad move. I really hope they buff Brine or give Toxapex like a way better second move. So again, we've seen this lead. You're staying in this matchup. You're trying to get this off first. The 1 versus 2s are tough. I always find fast move timing on a 1-turn versus anything is tough because I have a tough time counting my 1s. They get out into Lickitung. They lowered my attack. I'm obviously going too slow here, and I think this is something I should have got out way sooner. I think I make a mistake here just watching this back. Oh yeah, this is just, I just lost this matchup multiple times over. I think that Toxapex is the easy answer to Lickitung. Because you essentially play the same role in that you're just super, super bulky, right? And now they still have a Poliwrath with a shield that's going to just destroy my Swampert, right? And this thing has a ton of energy. So I think the play was probably I don't mind even building up a bit on, and they give up into Registeel. The problem is, with energy advantage and with shield advantage, they still probably have a good chance. I'm surprised they give us Switch. They just go Zap Cannon, which I think is the right play. Focus Blast will not KO Swampert. So you might as well, it's going to take 2 moves anyway, so you might as well just try and lower the attack, which they did. But now I do get a second shield here, but they will get a shield back because I have to try and keep this alive because it's not like Toxapex can deal with it. But if they like switch timer is coming up, I see that they can like snipe me, or they can maybe just outpace me here. They snipe me. Yeah, that's smart. I have to keep this alive, but oh yeah, and once I lost that, I could just top left because they still have a ton left on their Poliwrath and that. I lost in mid game there. I should not have, like, they lowered my attack on Dragonair, and Dragonair is like gets by on its Dragon Breath damage. Jellicent's kind of a core breaker because I don't have any charge moves to throw here. Dragon Breath damage is adding up. Poison Jab and Sludge Wave is resisted and Brine's resisted, so like Toxapex is just kind of useless. And then I have to go Earthquake on Swampert. So I have to like commit to the double shield. They just go double Surf, which is really annoying there. And now I'm doing resisted moves. Try to take this down. Don't take this down. I did label 1, how did I win this? And right now I'm wondering if this is the match that I somehow won, because I'm down 2 shields. We have a terrible backline Pokemon here. I will grab shield. I remember. So I instant swap because I don't want to get farmed. This will not take me out. I can get a Hydro off and grab the second shield or put it really low. Vigoroth comes in. I'll get 2 Hydros off on Vigoroth, which means they're going to have to shield if they want to keep this alive. And if they do, I think this is my win condition in TOXAPEX. Yeah, they can just farm down here, which is not a bad idea from them. The only problem is this is where TOXAPEX just is actually very, very, very strong. It is a bulky Pokemon. They even have Bulldoze. They don't even have Rock Slide. So super effective Bulldoze is good for them. But they just let me get a complete farm down. So now I have 2 brines coming out. So they do get 2 Bulldozes. Looks like it's a Powder Snow, which helps the TOXAPEX. 1 brine off, 2nd brine off. I cannot get out of this matchup because if I transfer, I have to stay in here. I have a move on my Dragonair. If I get out and try and snipe, I only have like 1 HP left. There's a very, very high probability that by switching over to my Dragonair, I will take the fast move from the Sandslash, and that will go down, and then they're going to have a move for this. So I have to just know I have an Aqua Tail, stay in this matchup, have to let this go down, and then get the Aqua Tail off here before that registers, and I'll take this matchup here. Lanturn lead, good lead for Dragonair, right? Out comes an Altaria. So it'll be interesting. I think what's going to happen is if they shield, I'll probably go into TOXAPEX. Yeah. So there's basically 2 options. This is when you play a lot more. These are the types of scenarios that you need to like know what you're doing. So I had a good lead. I have Swampert that can deal with Lanturn. TOXAPEX sucks against Lanturn. Dragonair is going to lose to Altaria because Altaria is just going to outbulk it. I get to the move first because they came in late. So I have 2 options. I'm going to throw the Bysam. If I chip that, if they let it go, I can probably just stay in, Dragon Breath down, keep switch, and keep my Dragonair if the Lanturn comes back in. Or if they have something else, I just lose, and then TOXAPEX takes whatever, and then Swampert on the Lanturn. Or, in this scenario, they did give me a shield. So I will come in here with TOXAPEX, basically just absorb a lot of damage. I may shield, but I'm going to absorb a lot of this damage and still have Dragonair and Swampert for the Lanturn. So that's just sort of like how you play through this. I could match shields here. I don't need to, right? Going to get the Sludge Wave off. One option could be, instead of getting this off right away, I'm surprised because now they're going to just spark me down. I'm surprised I actually did not let them take me lower, because now they're just going to get a ton of farm here. And that could be a potential issue, because now what I need to worry about is, okay, they have 200 energy. You can only have 100, but they have 100 energy. I essentially have to come Swampert because I'm reading they're more likely to have an answer to Swampert in the back than they are to Dragonair in the back, because I think Swampert's one of just like the main answers to Lanturn. So they probably have a Swampert answer in the back. I am going to double shield. Dragonair has enough health left, and I'm going to come out with a bit of energy here for sure. This will take out, and now we just need to see what's in the back. Something like Crest could core break this, though. Yeah, it's kind of what I felt. So now I need to make them, because I need like 3 Hydros. That's not enough. They're going to get to the Grass Knot. I need to like try and catch the Grass Knot, and they were aware of that, and now they farm up and come out with 2 moves. So well played on them. Crest is kind of a core breaker for Dragonair. Swampert, Moonblast at that. They're definitely going to get to a Grass Knot before I get to... I tried to get the Earthquake as my only win con, but yeah, Crest is kind of tough for this team with the Dragonair Swampert. Trev, same scenario as the Jellicent. So they give up Switch, which is interesting. Yeah, this is just a super hard answer here. I'm surprised they give up Switch, because I don't have anything to throw, right? Aqua Tail Body Slam is resisted. The only reason they would do this is if they are running like ABB Water, right? You see a water come in, you come in Grass or Electric to beat this. You still get the Icy Wind and Scalds off, which chip a bunch. and then your Trevenant comes in and beats it, and then you have your other B roam free in the back. So that's I think the only reason you give up that switch on the lead here, because otherwise Dragonair versus Trevenant is probably a good matchup for the Trevenant. And that's kind of what I'm reading in the back, that I may have a good answer to this in TOXAPEX. This is kind of risky. This is actually like almost very stupidly risky, because what I'm doing here is essentially they're going to get out and now force my Swampert onto their Trevenant. So it's a kind of stupid play to a certain extent, but where it's going to come into play here is I can now I can take any move here. I can, but I'm going to shield. The thing is, I know I'm going to come out with 100 energy. So I'm probably going to bank this and just come in here, force them to throw, let this go, and just mudshot down. I'll have 100 energy. It's because I've already chipped so much with the Sludge Wave and the Dragon Breath. This is Hydro Cannon range. So having 100 energy now, doesn't matter that they have shield advantage. There's one, here's a second, and the next one will be a third. So just kind of knowing that you've taken it low enough, shield this, Hydro, and then Mudshot down on the Azu. That's just kind of knowing how much damage you've done and sort of win conditions and jumping around a bit. So I don't know if I would play it the same way, but I was able to sort of outmaneuver just knowing how to manage energy there. So Dragonair Lead again. So if it's very IV dependent to a certain extent, in general, if you have like similar IVs and the game is not stupid, what you could do is just commit to the extra Dragon Breath and then farm them down, come out with a move here and down a shield. I don't trust my game to do that properly, so I just try and go for CMP because I have a 4 attack. So I think most of the time I probably should win CMP. I don't know though. Unfortunately, down a shield, and they have like right now 2 answers to TOXAPEX. They have a Skarmory, left, and they have a Whiscash left. So this game's over, right? I'm down a shield, and they have 2 just punishes for TOXAPEX. And this is why BRINE needs a buff. So we're at the point of the video where I'm now just going to talk about why, just whatever's on my mind. And what's on my mind is BRINE sucks. So BRINE is a 50 energy for only 60 damage, 1.2 damage per energy at a 50 move. Just to put that in comparison for you, Hydro Cannon is a 40 for 80 for 2. Other water moves, Scald, 50 for 85, 1.7 damage per energy. Can I just say, yeah, I can go water. Hydro Cannon 2, Scald, Surf, 40 for 65, 1.62. Weather Ball, 30, like a water Weather Ball, 35 energy for 55 damage, 1.57 damage per energy. Liquidation, 45 energy, 70 damage, 1.55 with a 30% chance of lowering your opponent's defense. Aqua Tail, which is even a good move, 35 for 50, 1.42. So BRINE is like really, really freaking bad. So much so that it's like unusable in most scenarios. And that is why TOXAPEX is a strong Pokemon, but a bad Pokemon in certain scenarios because it is very bulky. It can wall azumarill. Poison Jab is obviously a super, super, super strong fast move. Right? We have Poison Jab here. That is a 3.5 damage per turn, 3.5 energy per turn. Nice 2-turn move, 7 energy, 7 damage. Love to see that. Sludge Wave is a strong charge move. Sludge Wave at 65 energy, but 110 damage, 1.69 damage per energy. Really strong charge move. And then you have BRINE. So the thing is, like, if you get TOXAPEX in a neutral scenario where you can go Poison Jab and Sludge Wave, and just rely on your bulk, it's a great Pokemon. If you get in a matchup where you have a Steel or a Ground and your Poison Jab and Sludge Wave is resisted, TOXAPEX is essentially useless. And that's my beef with TOXAPEX. The BRINE is such a bad move. It's just such a bad move that, like, it makes Aerial Ace, which is still only a 40 energy, 55 damage for a 1.37 damage per energy, look like amazing. It's just you can't with BRINE. So TOXAPEX needs a new move. Again, if it gets Scald, right? I talked about all those charge moves. If it gets Scald, which is where's BRINE? BRINE is 50 energy and Scald is 50 energy. So they're both 50 energy. Except Scald is 25 more damage and 50% chance of lowering your opponent's attack. If TOXAPEX gets Scald, then it becomes like a top meta Pokemon because it has the bulk, it has good fast move, it has a good charge move, it's got okay typing. I know a lot of people like using like Tentacruel and stuff like that in the Ultra League. It's got like a decent poison water typing. It's just that secondary move is so bad. So yeah, well, that was the talk about TOXAPEX. And then Dragonair is strong. Maybe I'll put TOXAPEX in the title just because I talked about it so much. Because I do think that it is a potentially very, very strong Pokemon. But it's just limited with that second move. Where is it technically ranked right now? So TOXAPEX is right now ranked at 27, right? And I think why they're scared to give it something like that is if you put in right now PV Poke, maximize this, maximize your opponent. In the one shield, it currently has a 24 and 21 record, right? Which is a pretty good record. If you replaced BRINE and put in something like Scald, your 24-21 becomes 31 and 14, right? That is huge. You still just get destroyed by like the grounds, Whiscash, Swampert, Quagsire, Stunfisk, the Steels, Registeel, another ground, Clodsire, Lanturn, Electric. So you still have a lot of like hard losses. But man, that ability to, you just jumped, what did I say? 31 versus 24. You jumped 7 wins. 7 wins getting it a decent second water move, which is why I think they're scared to give it that, because 31 and 14 is a heck of a record for just even scenarios, right? So I think that's why they're scared to give it. Anyways, that is it. This afternoon, probably. I'm shooting this at night for tomorrow morning. I think I'll have time tomorrow morning to shoot for tomorrow afternoon. Another Little Cup team, or maybe I'll do it later tonight. We'll see. Another Little Cup team, anti-meta, which has now got me to my highest ELO of the season. And then I'm gonna go mixture of probably, I got one more Little Cup. It's a fast move damage team, and then I think I'm gonna do mostly Great League after, because I think most people actually are playing Great League. Anyways, that is it. Good to be back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.